The B team
is back.
is back.
And better than ever.
And yeah, we're better than
Remember
ever.
when we used to say that for every episode?
Mm-hmm.
When did that stop?
When we started clapping in unison to start the show.
Really?
Which is never actually in the show, by the way.
Which is so sad.
That's really funny, actually, because we get so excited sometimes.
It's just our cue, I guess. It's our cue. But, oh my God. Oh, man, I wish I could say this off camera. I'm going to say it now. The whole Saquon Barkley thing. Nothing yet. Waiting. But we'll possibly send another message. I don't want to give too many clues, but we'll reach out.
Ready for this? I'm going to cover it up. He's going to be a Cowboy.
He's going to be a Cowboy. So he didn't get tagged.
No.
He didn't get tagged. Josh Jacobs didn't get tagged. However, they're looking to re-sign him, probably on like a team-friendly deal.
Tagged.
He won't get tagged. He's going to be gone.
Derrick Henry's
going to be, he's hitting free agency. So, okay, let's say this. All of these running backs right now look good on the Ravens. Let's just get that out of the way now.
Yep,
You put any of them on the Ravens, they look good. So one of those big-name running backs is going to go to Baltimore, and we're all going to just be all in on it for fantasy and whatnot.
And they'll be injured by week 3, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then J.K. Dobbins will come in and hopefully be healthy for once. But, they're going to try and keep Saquon again. I want him to leave so badly. It's one of those situations where, as a fan, you love him so much because of the player that he is, but you are so blind, and I wouldn't say oblivious, but so blind to the fact that he could excel somewhere else. That's what I think of the whole Saquon Barkley situation with the Giants. Personally, as a non-Giants fan, I'm praying that he goes elsewhere. He just give the man a chance, especially for his career, and like if he wants to win a ring, sorry Giants fans, it's not going to happen with y'all.
He can always come home.
I mean, home is the New York Jets. That's home.
Well, yeah, still
he has two homes.
Same stadium.
He has 2 homes right now. He has the New York Jets, the Birds, and if he wants to go away from home but hurt home, the Dallas Cowboys. I think
that's
ways,
what he's got to
actually.
do. He's got to join Micah.
He's got to join. Ooh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Uh-huh. And Micah said that he wants to be a Cowboy for life this week, which was awesome to hear.
He should be. He should be a Cowboy 100%. But listen, I could see Micah doing what Sauce is doing right now, which I love, by the way, guys. Just trying to recruit everybody to the Cowboys. Just Sauce is doing the same thing.
How did you feel about what was it Dawkins on the Bills calling out the Jets youngsters?
Oh, he's a joke. He's an absolute joke. Every other player in the league is obviously going to take photos for the Instagram. Bro, we beat y'all with Zach Wilson.
He's Zach Wilson. That's a big...
Dude, if there's... He should be the last one talking because, okay, good. Like, I like that he goes on these shows and everything.
Shirtless.
But that shirtless...
Yeah, he was shirtless.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're going on and you're talking crap on the Jets players shirtless. I will say he did single out a couple of Jets that he respected, Quinnen being one of them. I think Rodgers was another guy, and one of the coaches that is on the Jet staff. But, I mean, listen, they're just trying to stir some controversy with Sauce and Garrett. I love Sauce because he's one to not really go out of his way to say stuff. I mean, he
did respond.
Yeah, and he did respond, but like he doesn't go out of his way to do what Dawkins did. Like, talk crap on any other player randomly. Like that was just on Dawkins. That was so random. But he said something about the Chiefs, and then someone on the Niners came at him like, you play for the sorry-ass Jets. Like, all right, it's not like he was coming at you guys. Like, he was just like, oh, it's the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Okay, fair enough. Anyone can say that. Why would you get mad? You're just salty you lost.
Yep.
Did you see Sauce's response today?
Of Dawkins?
He tweeted a picture with his shirt off and said, I'm on my way to do my first ever shirtless podcast.
He's so good.
I love it. Dude, him and Garrett Wilson, I love those two.
Garrett is like the most prized possession that we have. He's so precious. Like you can't phase him. He doesn't do anything. He's not like he's active on his social media because I think he has a clothing brand or is going to. Like he's very fashionista, does his own
this is
shit.
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, yes. He's big into fashion. That's why he posts a lot. But he's not coming at anybody whatsoever. He's doing his own thing on his socials. He lets his game do the talking rather than his mouth. So we'll leave Garrett out of it. Sauce, different story, but I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was interesting
that
the Bills had the audacity to go somewhere and
what podcast was it even on?
I Am Athlete, I think.
I Am Athlete. Do you know who hosts that?
That's Chad Johnson.
Oh, no kidding.
Ochocinco.
Damn, came at the Jets.
Okay.
Well, speaking of, since now we actually have some good things to talk about with football, I feel like we're kind of back home as well, kind of like Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
We were lost for like 2 weeks with we had great interviews, which I liked, but obviously with football being out, it's been kind of hard to dive into other things.
It's crazy because like every other sport, I feel like the season ends and there's stuff being talked about. Even hockey, like stuff's happening.
Great game you went to, by the way.
Oh, amazing game. Amazing game. I seriously don't know how the Flyers didn't tie it up at the end.
Yeah, they had. I watched the game at the bar, and
wide open chances.
5 seconds left in the third period. They had a wide open chance, and they whiffed bad. That would have easily went to overtime.
Yeah.
You make that shot.
It was a great game.
Yeah, you watched Rempe fight, which I love right now. I love it. I absolutely love the
big
Rangers.
talking point. Is he a dirty player?
Huh?
Is he a dirty player?
He's going to be the next Tom Wilson, 100%. Yes. I'm here for it. You think Capitals fans care that they have Tom Wilson? Everybody hates him. You think the Pittsburgh Penguins fans care that they have Sidney Crosby and everyone hates him?
I wish we had someone.
Dude, the Rangers have been missing that for so long. Like, they've had a couple years where they had a guy that's like a one-year guy, like Austin Reeves, for example. Come in, physical fighter, but this Rempe kid's a rookie, and he's going to be good. He's 6'7". That's exactly what you want in a defenseman. And he's fighting and providing a spark for the team. We haven't had that since Sean Avery.
Yeah.
That was back in 2006. Yeah. He changed that team. Him and Martin Brodeur still don't get along. They hate each other. They will forever hate each other. No doubt. But, this is what I got to say about the Rangers, because I know we don't really talk about hockey much, but if they don't hoist the Stanley Cup, this is another failure. This is every single year. We look great in the regular season. Like, we just look fantastic in the regular season. Playoff time comes. Panarin shuts down. Mika shuts down. Kreider has a couple goals. The other lines have to do all the dirty work. You're second in the whole league right now behind Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get that number one seed, either just in your division, Metropolitan Division, or in the conference. Regardless, they need to be one seed in one or the other. I want to see them actually be a favorite and win as a favorite, rather than being a dog and winning and then, we look good and we could beat anybody and then lose to a team like the Carolina Hurricanes or the Bruins or the Capitals or the Devils last year.
I think
that
the
was
Bruins
a shit.
Are fool's gold.
Huh?
I think the Bruins are fool's gold.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just getting a little bit older, and I think they're a little bit more predictable.
I don't think they have the legs to compete in the playoffs.
No, and that's a thing too, which is what scares me about the Rangers, because we've had this team, besides all the rookies and the young guys we have, and having Hedl out is, we drafted him in the 20s, I think, a couple years ago, and he's been better than Capo Caco. And Capo Caco was a second overall, I believe.
Hell of a name. Yeah,
Capo Caco, Finnish guy, amazing. But Lafreniere's been that guy. He's stepped up to the plate. He's been the guy that we've wanted him to be. It's just right now there's a little bit of a situation with the goalies. I'm not really buying it. I think Igor is the guy, but I think Jonathan Quick is a phenomenal second goalkeeper to have. No doubt about it. He was elite not 2-3 years ago.
Quick is great. What I saw in that game, Igor is unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Rangers fans were turning on him because he was in a little bit of a slump. The man has provided us so many wins and shutouts throughout the years.
Who was turning on?
All Rangers fans were turning on because he went through that huge slump before the win streak, and he was just letting up over like 4 goals a game.
I honestly, I'm not in Rangers fan theory, whatever's going on over there. But in that stadium, the amount of times I heard Igor, it was constant.
Dude.
It was constant.
It's funny because this is the only team that I have that have a like a goalkeeper to me is like a quarterback in the NFL. If you have like Henrik Lundqvist, we've had him. Granted, he doesn't have a Stanley Cup. Okay, screw you. I know. And it sucks. I wish he has. But he took us there. It sucks that we never got it. But he was that guy, and we made the playoffs every single year with him. Having a guy like Igor is going to provide the same type of value every single year. But now we're better. We got rid of some players. We have a lot of young guys coming in who are finally stepping up to the game of NHL. And we can do it, bro. Like, we can do it. Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, like, these guys are just ready to win it all. But this is what's going to take them all the way. If they don't have this in the playoffs, it's over. And every single year we lose.
Yeah.
They need to have this in the playoffs.
My prediction is Rangers-Avs Stanley Cup, and I think the Avs win. Unfortunately,
they're so good.
They got two guys that are 50-50 almost.
They're ever since they won the Stanley Cup. What was it? It was last year they won. They won the Stanley Cup last year.
Yeah.
It was the Golden Knights. They won 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The Golden Knights, you really can't count out either, just because they're
that's such bullshit.
Yeah, I know. How
are you an expansion team when you win a Stanley Cup in your first year? I'm over here dying every single year being a Flyers fan. You same thing really as a Rangers fan. You guys are better than us, but you're still not winning.
Yeah.
They come in first year in the league, get to have their pick of the litter and win a Stanley Cup. That is so bad.
That's the thing with the West, though. It's like those couple teams that are elite are like, they're damn good. Like, they're not a step below any of these Eastern Conference Metropolitan Division teams.
Yeah.
They can compete with anybody in that conference, Rangers included. So can Vancouver. You can't count them out. And even Dallas, but Dallas is kind of going through a little rough patch. But
Dallas, I mean, I've watched a bunch of their games. They're an over machine in my mind, but they just, I feel like they bleed goals, but you don't see it because they score enough. But I feel like all their games, it's like they give up 3, 4, 5 goals, and that's just not sustainable when you get into the playoffs. You're gonna lose.
You don't really see, you don't see a lot of under games as much in the the NHL, because everyone is so quick now, and it's all about speed and just overall fitness. Finding out the passes, power plays obviously is important. You just want to get the puck on goal, man. Like, yes, make your passes, try to get an open one-timer or whatnot, but having a guy just in front of goal who could possibly deflect it. Kreider's amazing at it. That's why he's
fantastic.
Such a good player. Rempe's hopefully going to be that guy, but you got to just put the puck on net. But
pucks on net, pucks in deep.
There you go. But the Rangers can do it, man. Like, this is the year they have to. Like, if they don't do it this year, it's going to be the same thing over and over. This is the best their team is going to be, probably for a while, because Mika, Kreider's going to be, who knows, man? He's getting older. I don't know how much longer these guys have. I haven't dove too deep into it, but my worry the most is about Artemi Panarin, because he just scored, I think, his 33rd or 34th goal, and he's on fire right now. But playoff time, it's different, and they can't slack off. We need these guys more than ever.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's get into some football.
So,
football is brought to you by
Fireman Ed.
I miss you, Fireman.
Yeah, I miss him too, man. We're going to have him back on.
Yeah.
I remember I hit him up and he was busy. He said he was gone for like 3 weeks. But
yeah, that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. That's probably even longer. I got to hit him back on.
We got to talk to him again.
But, so I had this idea that we do, because I feel like we don't really do as many topics, at least during the season. There's really no need to. But now, I think with the draft approaching, I had an idea to do a little top 5 teams under pressure leading up to the draft.
Bring it.
And even just leading up to the overall season. So I have a couple honorable mentions. I will say right off the bat, I didn't know where to put the Niners, because obviously they're under some pressure as well with Kyle Shanahan. But since they're so good, and since they're most likely going to be a top NFC contender, I'm going to leave them out of it. They're more so an honorable mention. I got stuck between them and another team at 2.
Yeah,
and I didn't think it was too high for their pressure.
Yeah,
to be at number 2. So I'm going to start off with some honorable mentions. Just give a little bit of a spiel. If you want to say something after, I'll go through them first, and then I'll get through my top 5. So Honorable mentions, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks, I have the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills.
That's an honorable mention.
Honorable mention, yes. The Bills was a tough
repeat
one.
it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills,
Why the Bucks?
which is why I'm going to say. So we all know the division. It's not really, I mean, it's up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
So the Saints just won it. They barely squeaked by. Or no, the Bucks won it. The Bucks just won it, yes. They
Barely
squeaked by,
by.
but they beat the Birds. And, okay, obviously it was one of the worst, probably the worst record within all the division winners in the league. Why I think they're under pressure is because their two most important players are set to hit free agency market, Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, and they have to bring her back. They got to. Go ahead.
I saw a clip where I think it was Monday Morning Football or something like that. Sunday Morning Football. What's that show with?
Sunday morning.
Okay, Sunday. All right. And they got a hot mic of Baker saying basically that he's going back to the Bucks and that he's convincing Mike to stay.
Yeah, and that's another thing now because Mike's going to ask for some money.
Mm-hmm.
He just surpassed 1,000 yards for another year, which I think is every single year he's been in the league.
Yeah, he's a problem.
He is a problem, but he's not going to take a pay cut. They're going to have to pay him. However, they don't really have a problem with salary cap right now, which isn't a bad thing. But how much is Baker going to want? Do they even want to take Baker back? I think Baker is going to go back. I think he should go back.
Yep.
But I don't think they should let Mike Evans go. They need to do everything in their power to pay him and have him back with Baker because when Baker targets Mike Evans, his passer rating was 111.6.
Okay.
They have a great connection, and you can't break it up. No way.
Dude, that pisses me off, that stat, solely because I bet on the Bucks one time this season. One time.
For Mortal? Or just
No.
a bet?
I had Baker over on yards and Mike Evans over a certain amount of yards in a parlay. And these dudes couldn't complete a pass for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans dropped like 4 passes. It was week 17 or something. You remember that game? One of the last ones where Mike Evans literally couldn't catch a football.
Yes.
Dude, it was insane. The whole year, this dude's dime. I bet on them. Dude looks like Michael Gallup.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Continue.
So,
Oh, sorry.
Bucks definitely under pressure. Chargers, I mean, they're always under pressure at this point.
But I feel like it's more pressure now because they have what's his name as their coach, and they're
Harbaugh.
bringing in Harbaugh. They're bringing in all these guys to coach, and they're kind of pumping up this team. And it's like, oh yeah, now they've got the guys in there that can get this team over the edge. They want to bring Eckler back, which I think is a dumb decision. Did anyone that saw him run last year
Against
like,
the Green Bay Packers. They're not. I don't think they're going to bring it back.
brutal? You can't.
No.
As much as they're saying it, I think they're just talking them up to get that price tag up.
Yes, of course. But
But listen, this year and next year, Justin Herbert. If you don't produce, people are going to start saying it's you, not the coach.
this is why I think they brought Harbaugh in the first place because obviously you called the whole Kellen Moore situation. Brandon Staley was never the guy to begin with. Yeah, clap it up there. Brandon Staley was never the guy to begin with. Ever since that first year where he was pulling, well, he wasn't pulling a Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was pulling a him.
Yes.
But calling all these stupid plays that honestly cost them.
Mm-hmm.
Lose to the Jaguars, get blown out by a comeback in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not Herb. Maybe it's biased to me, but seeing Herbert play, you know that there's something there. Especially when they had one receiver on the team this year, and Keenan was a top 3 receiver if healthy.
Yeah, he was
a top 3 receiver, bro.
probably top 2.
Yeah, he was number 2 until he got hurt and started missing games. But so this is their issue now. They have around 45 mil over the cap limit, and they have some choices to make. What are they going to do with Nick Bosa? I mean, they're going to have to cut either him, Khalil Mack, probably just trade one of those, probably Nick Bosa. But they got to figure it out, and especially again with Eckler too. I think Quentin Johnson is probably going to be like a fringe wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Palmer, if they can get him going, guys, I think he's another lethal weapon. They just have to bolster the O-line, especially since Rashawn Slater Well, I think he played last year. I don't think he was injured.
No, he played.
He did play.
Yeah, I don't know if he got injured. I'm not.
No, he was out for the year. I think it was 2 years ago. But
All right.
they have Corey Linsley, who's getting older too, and we don't know how much longer he has, but they can do it. Like we know they can do it, but they have to figure out their defense. It was one of the worst defenses in the league, so they're under pressure, especially with Harbaugh. And one last thing, I don't think they're rebuilding. If anything, they're reconstructing their team rather than rebuilding. You can't rebuild when you have Herbert.
And that's what I was going to say. It's one of those situations where you see all these coaches coming in, and like you see it a lot in the NFL where it's a revamp of the coaching staff, and then you start to see this player leaves, this player leaves, this player. They got to get their guys in, and I could see this Chargers team's going to look completely different, I think, come week 1 of the season. There's guys on this team that were big names from this year that will be on some other team, maybe not even in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just the way it's going to be because they got to get their guys in there. It clearly wasn't happening last year, coaching staff or not the coaching staff. I think that Harbaugh's got to do what he did at Michigan. Go get his guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying go get J.J. McCarthy because that dude can't throw a football for his life, but let's go get our guys.
He's going to be throwing at a pro day, I think, JJ.
Well, he has to because not one person saw him throw the whole year.
Does have to.
You saw the Rose Bowl. He made one throw, and it was the first throw of the game. He almost threw a pick.
Yeah, I remember that. But they're going to be, I think, with the Chargers, they're going to run a lot more, especially because they don't, I think they have like a somewhat high draft pick too.
Yeah.
They're going to run a lot more too. Huh?
Do they go get Blake Corum?
No. You don't get Blake Corum. You don't. No shot.
I think they do.
I
think they get.
Since you said that, I could see them doing that in like the second round.
Yeah, maybe in like the third.
5th pick in the second round, I could see them taking a shot on him. I mean,
Oh, don't get me down the
that would
rabbit
be
hole.
high, but
Dude.
like, I could see them draft.
That would be a reach.
Let me throw this one by you guys. Think about how many Michigan players are going to the combine. What are the odds that Harbaugh just pulls I'm going to get every Michigan player I can?
Odds are about 92%.
Yeah,
He
I
might
agree.
just go get all of his Michigan guys and bring them to
They're
San
all
Diego.
going They got like 10
Or sorry,
guys
LA.
probably.
That one receiver, what's his name? Roman Wilson.
Yeah. He's
That
good.
could be a late.
He's
That could
good.
be a late guy for them. JJ.
Hell, I could see him going and getting JJ as a undrafted player. I could see JJ going undrafted because this kid is not a top 10, 12, 13 quarterback in this draft.
Wait till the pro day where he's got no pads on. He starts slinging it.
He's gonna be
He might be a top
Zach
5
Wilson,
pick, dude.
the
Might
Jets
be
are
a
gonna
top
go
5
get him.
pick. You can never count it out.
Jets need a backup quarterback, right?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But last honorable mention: Buffalo Bills. They were close to sneaking it. I got them at 6 right now. So
Okay.
they need a receiver number 2. How long have we been saying it? How long are you just gonna ride Josh Allen and Diggs? But you know what? I will say they're getting other guys involved, but they're not wide receiver 2 caliber. I don't think Khalil Shakir is.
Gabe Davis will be gone.
Gabe Davis
Yes,
should
he's
be.
gone.
Or Gabe Davis should be gone. The dude's a bum.
So I don't think they bring him back.
No, they shouldn't. He's not the guy. Go utilize the draft, get younger, get a little bit more stability, and get your premium positions locked down. Cornerback, I mean, Tre'Davious White is still good, but I think he's regressing. Left tackle, I mean, they got Dawkins. Screw the guy. He's fine. But they got to get some help from him because if you're using Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid as like your 1-2 tight end punch, that's great. But you want to add more. Josh Allen needs those people to help him. Diggs is your only wide receiver 1. Yeah. Khalil Shakir and these guys aren't going to be putting up numbers consistently on an every week basis. You get a wide receiver 2, Stephon Diggs might even be better than he already is.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of and listen, there's Super Bowl windows closing.
Do you think that if they had a true wide receiver 2, they get over the hump this year?
Yes.
They get to a Super Bowl? You think that was the only missing piece?
I mean,
on the
no,
team?
but like it helps.
Yeah, I know, but if they
It
had
helps.
that, is it clear cut Super Bowl or bust?
I mean, no, I don't think so. But like, I think it bolsters their chances, in my opinion. I mean, you saw them this year. It was just Josh. It was just him doing what he had to do. Having James Cook though was massive for them.
Yeah,
I think he's only going to get better, but maybe it's a coaching thing, a play calling thing. But I think if they just have one more guy, because who knows if Stephon's even going to stay after maybe next year. Mm-hmm. Get a guy who can learn under him And then if somehow he goes, you have him step as a wide receiver 2, or actually, a wide receiver 1, or you attack free agency and you get someone to come in as that number 1 receiver or number 2.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the same thing kind of goes for the Cowboys, which is my next one. So now we're going to go into my top 5.
I have one more thing to say on the Bills.
Sure.
And then I have one breaking news.
Sure.
Uh,
Right now, breaking news?
yeah.
Okay.
The Bills, I think that McDermott just has to come in there and pick a side, be Israel or Hamas, and just start saying stuff to the team with that, because it seems to work for them. I don't know why it happens and it works, but I think he really just has to lean into it at this point. And then breaking news. Taylor Swift made homemade Pop-Tarts for the Chiefs and did not share with Andy Reid. Didn't make him one. Trouble in paradise. Does Travis Kelce leave the Chiefs now? I don't know.
That was a breaking news source.
Just popped up on my feed.
What does this world come to? This is what we have to
It's Taylor
report
Swift.
now?
It's Taylor Swift.
Listen, she won me money, so you know what? I can't even hate.
Exactly.
And she won you money, so
She did.
you can't hate either.
Sorry, Andy. All right, back to you.
All right, so we're in my top 5. I like the honorable mentions. I think they're placed perfectly.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bills, but we'll see after these 5.
Yeah.
Start with 5, work our way down to 1.
Okay.
The boys, you can't disagree with me here. There's obviously pressure on them.
No, yeah, there always will be.
So why I think there is because Dak right now for 2024 has a $59.4 million cap hit. So you can't really restructure his contract because it's such a long contract that if you keep pushing off all this dead money, it's just going to bite Jerry Jones of the Cowboys in the ass.
Well, the cap space is going up, and I believe the
but only like, what, 10 million?
The cap, I believe that they're going to be making moves and cutting some guys / restructuring some deals that will actually bring it down. In Dak Prescott, I do think they restructure slightly again, and that'll open up some more cap space. I think the last thing I saw, the predicted, now it's just a prediction, it's not end all be all, but it was from a few reliable sources. I saw the same thing. The Cowboys will have substantial cap space once they're done giving Diggs a deal, Parsons, restructuring him, getting his stuff all settled away, CeeDee Lamb, and then Dak Prescott, of course, which still leaves the running back room wide open. And if they are able to make these moves and do the deals and cut the right players that are predicted to be cut, I do think we'll have plenty of cap space. I'm not saying that Jerry's going to do the right thing because he tends to not do that, but that's all I know.
Yeah, they're also another team, in my opinion, that have to attack free agency, and especially for, I think, an old lineman. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I think that's because Tyron Smith, he's always hurt now, and I think he's already hitting the market. That's someone, that position at least, you have to go target, because Tyler Smith could possibly be that guy. I think he played guard, right? He was a guard.
Yes.
So they drafted him as a tackle, though, I believe, and then they moved him to guard.
Yeah, so it was Smith and Smith.
Yeah, so Smith and Smith, get another guy because you need a guy on the left side. Or you move Tyler Smith over, get a guard, and then go from there.
So here would be my dream pick in the draft. Now, this ain't a sexy dream.
Mm-hmm.
This is not some this is a beautiful pick right here.
You're like mid-20s, though.
I'm going to take, what?
You're mid-20s in the draft, right?
Yeah, but still, you could still get a sexy pick in the mid-20s.
For sure.
Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson.
Okay.
I want him. It changes everything for us if we get him.
Yeah.
The dude's a beast. You need someone on that O-line that can get that run game going.
I think with center as well, I think center is the most swing position. Mm-hmm. Actually, the tackle is kind of the same, but I think
very important though.
Yes,
I think center changes your whole offense.
Yes, because center you could really move around. If you have another center, I mean, I kind of take that back. I think tackle is more of a swing position that you can.
I would agree with that.
AVT,
But no, I see what you're saying. Though.
Tackle guard, but bolster it up again for the long term. Even just excluding everything about Dak, you want just keep these young guys coming in and just learn. Obviously they've had a good old line for so long. You throw out any solid prospect in that old line, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But besides Dak, I'm sorry. One more thing on Dak. I don't know what they're going to do with him though. Do they want to extend him?
Yes.
Like, is that for sure?
Yes. Like go. So I know, like I had a whole immediate reaction to everything. And I was like, oh, like you're talking shit on Dak, like blah blah. Like, and then I even said like I don't know if he can get sort of edge. Going back and looking at the season, really watching through it and thinking about like what happened, especially at the end.
Great regular season quarterback, phenomenal.
Well, wait, especially at the end, even in the playoffs, Dak can't catch the ball for you. Dak can't run the ball for you, right? I mean, to a point he can, but at some point, Tony Pollard, you can't get tackled on the first contact every time.
They tried.
At some point, CeeDee Lamb, you can't let the ball go through your hands for the whole first quarter.
They tried with Tony Pollard, and were his numbers low? Yes, they were probably the lowest of his career.
He's not number one.
But if there's 1 year in regards to free agency, this is the year to just get whatever you can for value.
Yep.
For like offensive positions, wide receiver, running back. You have people there that can make a difference for your team. Jerry has to, bro. He just has to do it.
You have to bring home one of these premier running backs. Give me Josh Jacobs. Give me Saquon. Give me Derrick Henry.
They're all, and
Give
no
me
offense
any
to
of
Tony
them.
Pollard, you're taking those guys over Tony Pollard.
Yes.
Hands
and then
down.
we're running Rico Dowdle as our number 2 again.
There you go. Yeah.
Rico was great this year, I
Yes,
think.
he was.
He didn't get enough touches in the playoff
He
game.
did not. I think the perfect running back, and if I really think about it, they're all very good. You could put any of those guys, Jacobs, Henry, Saquon, in that offense, but
Changes it immediately.
having a guy like Saquon for the Cowboys to alleviate the pressure on Dak, Tony Pollard couldn't do that for Dak. You need a guy that can do that.
He's not that guy.
No.
He is a Rico Dowdle. He's Rico Dowdle. We had
What a
two.
name,
we had
dude.
2 Rico Dowdles.
That is an insane name. I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on the Cowboys. There's nothing really to say. It's kind of the same run-of-the-mill talking again.
Being a dead horse.
Last thing I'll say is, Diggs, come on home to Dallas.
Yeah, I mean,
Come join your brother.
It's not out of the conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have to wait 2 years, but
No,
yeah,
it's this year.
definitely under pressure, especially with the playoffs. We won't get into it. They're number 5 on my list.
All right, give me number 4.
All right, Gas, did you have anything to say at all before I move on?
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet. So what is
Sure I will.
What is gas? You know that I don't.
Number 4, I have to throw the Chicago Bears in there
Yeah.
because of everything. I mean, we've already spoken about it. Just to reiterate, you have to figure out what to do with the number 1 pick. I've been saying it for months now. You have to take Caleb. You must take Caleb. Finding a trade partner for Justin Fields won't be hard. It won't be difficult. The Falcons, the Steelers, the Broncos. There are a lot of teams that would shop around and trade a 3rd rounder, maybe if they want to throw a 2nd. Don't think it will happen. But I,
First.
huh?
They won it first from what I've heard.
That's from where? Just on Twitter.
Today, I forget the source, but apparently there's been talks with the Steelers about Fields. Reportedly, the Steelers would send a 2nd, but Chicago wants a 1st.
I think you take the 2nd and you run with it, though. I don't think you're getting a 1st for Fields,
I
man.
think you try to milk him for a 1st.
You could try.
That could just be a rumor. I don't know if they've made a decision yet. We'll see.
People forget that it's a Steelers 2nd round pick too. Like the Steelers picks always tend to work out and develop properly. So I think that there's value in that.
I just I don't think it's that hard. Like once a quarterback doesn't last, you're not going to get a 1st from him. We're not getting a 1st for Zach Wilson. We might be getting a first-class trip to Cancun, but
No,
not a
dude,
first
don't get
round
ahead
pick.
of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. You're getting.
I'm not. I am getting ahead of
these
myself.
nuts, if anything.
I'm
Like
getting
that,
ahead of
you ain't
myself.
getting the Punta Cana. Come on, Cancun, Punta Cana, all that stuff's off the board with Zach
So
Wilson.
I get a bottle of 1942 for him. Damn, that's
Burnett's?
disrespectful.
Burnett's. That might be the best you could get for that guy.
Oh my heavens. Well, okay, we're gonna get into that, but last thing on Fields, find a way to also get a receiver in the draft or free agency. I know it's kind of like a recurring thing, but these teams are receiver needy. I think all the teams that I've talked about, Bills obviously, Chargers, Bucks need Mike Evans, Cowboys need a wide receiver too. Brandon Cooks,
There's just
great
no
signing.
wide receivers in the league. Like, are we facing a shortage of
No,
wide receivers?
we're not.
In Biden's America?
Stop it. We're not facing a shortage in Biden's America with receivers. It's not there. There's going to be a crap load of them in the draft, and there's a couple premium guys in free agency. However, T. Higgins just got tagged, so I don't think he'll be going anywhere. But
So what you're saying is we don't have to go abroad for receivers?
no.
Okay.
One thing on the Bears, I actually disagree. I don't think they're under any pressure this offseason. I think they have so much capital that you can't mess it up.
Oh,
Which is why I think there's slight pressure for sure.
If they take Caleb,
I had to think about that.
that's a win. I mean, they have him right there if they want him. They're under no pressure. They've been on the clock since probably like week 14.
A long time ago.
So they have all these picks. Even if they don't take Caleb, they trade down. Marvin Harrison is there. Whatever they want to do, they're going to walk away a different team.
For sure. I mean, this one was kind of tough because I felt like looking at the number one pick, you can never count the fact out that they could just do some crazy out-of-pocket shit because they are the Chicago Bears.
They run the draft.
Yeah,
They can make waves in the draft.
exactly. They run the draft, and they could facilitate the draft in ways that nobody could ever think about. Like right now, you're
There's
number.
so many options.
Yes, there are so many options right now. And if you don't do the popular option, which is obviously drafting Caleb, and you keep Fields, somehow get Marvin Harrison, and this goes to shit, you messed up.
The Bears should find a way that they could trade all of their assets for every first-round pick next year.
They have a lot of capital.
They have enough
so
that they
much.
could do it.
Which is why, like, I think they're under pressure because you can't screw it up. It was when the Jags had the number one overall pick, and it was Zach Wilson and Trevor. Like, you have to take it. Like, don't listen to what anyone has to say. You must take that guy.
No, I agree with you.
And it's the Bears, man. Like, they could be a damn good team and compete if they could just nail this draft. I think last year they got Darnell Wright, which was a good move. They could have had Jalen Carter. They took an offensive lineman instead. He had a great year. I think this year is more important, obviously. If you could find a way to get Caleb and then get a guy, because you have so much capital where you can trade up, get a Malik Neighbors, get a Roma Dunze. You're not going to get Marvin. It's going to be tough unless you're really throwing all your ammunition at a team. But
Unless they just take him first overall.
so they have number 1 and number 9.
Yeah.
So they only have 2 picks.
Well, 2 very
First
high
rounds.
picks. Yeah, 2 first-round picks. You're taking Caleb number 1. Number 9, you could use that to package up and move up. You got second-rounders. You got future picks.
There's so many receivers in this draft. Teams are gonna get star receivers in the second, third, fourth round.
No shortage here in America.
So do you think Malik Neighbors is the biggest possibility for number 9 if they take receiver?
I don't know if he falls to 9. I think Roma Dunze could be there at 9. If he's not, if those top 3 guys are off the board, there's a little bit of a drop off after that. But there's a lot of guys who will be good. You just don't know which ones.
All right, now let me ask you,
will be.
because towards the draft, this is where all the quarterbacks get boosted up. Some start getting pushed into the top 5. Some start falling out. How many receivers do you think go within the top 10? You think it's more than 2?
3 at least.
3 at least?
Maybe 4. I think.
Really?
I have to say 3.
I was just thinking 2.
No, dude. Rome is him. Malik is potentially generational along with Marvin, and Rome is very good.
Damn. So right now, we know that there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. It's going to be
Probably in the top 5 also.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, wow. And then Brock, I think Brock will probably be top 10. Someone will.
I think he might fall into the teens.
You think the teens? But we know that the Jets are going to take an O-line. That's
Yeah.
a no doubter. So
Let's hope.
let's hope.
Let's
That'll
hope
be
and
interesting
pray.
to see though. But good stuff from the Bears there. I like that.
Number 3.
Number 3, the Birds.
Yeah, we all know why they're under pressure.
The Birds. This is
That was going to be my number 1.
so okay.
Same.
I thought about it,
Same.
but a little bias in this list, you can imagine. But this must add defense. That's it. secondary, get it all. You need defense. You need defense. You need Jalen to get his head out of his ass, be a leader, and Sirianni's got to get this team together. But it's defense, coaching, and defense.
That whole coaching staff.
Well,
or Sirianni should be fired before the end of the year.
The-
If they don't get it together.
Listen, with how Philly is, this is a do or die year for him. Figure out your OC. I don't even think they hired anybody yet. They brought in Fangio. Good move. I think he's actually going to be very good for this defense because that's what they need. Dude, they were 31st in touchdowns allowed, 31st in touchdown interception ratio, 29th in passer rating allowed. What does that say? I think besides the defensive line, it's young, it's promising. We talked about that. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick will be back. You gotta just this linebacking core and the secondary. That is your main objective this whole offseason. Don't worry about the offense. Jason Kelsey is another like asterisk. If he doesn't come back, then you really got to figure out. Maybe they put Cam Jurgens in. He'll probably be good for a year, and then they look elsewhere in the draft, free agency, in the future. But you must attack the defense this year. That is probably the only team that's like a competing team that needs to look for defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because they do need defense. It's tough to play against Dak Prescott, Sam Howell, and Tyrod Taylor, Tommy DeVito twice a year, every year. Like that's a quarterback room that's kind of unstoppable.
Brock Purdy.
Well, no, he's
Jared
not in the
Goff.
NFC East.
No, but they're in the NFC, and they got to get through them too.
But that's only once a year. They have to get through these guys twice.
It's easy.
And then they go to Brock Purdy, who will inevitably choke.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, to just get younger at corner and safety. I think that was Blankenship is solid, but your corners. I mean, Bradbury down year, Darius Slay.
Was it a down year or was it the true Bradbury?
It was the true Bradbury.
True Bradbury.
Because you see this a lot in the NFL where a guy comes out, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not expecting Deron Bland to be anything next year. I'm expecting him to be the run-of-the-mill cornerback that was probably supposed to happen. And I'm not like, dude, if he gets 2 interceptions next year, that's a world-class year for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bravo. If he comes out and proves me wrong and he is that guy, all right, I'll take my punches. But I think it's a similar situation with Bradbury.
For the sake of us being a Philadelphia-based podcast, I couldn't put them number one. I think where they're at now is
I think if
between
we were a
2 or 3.
Philadelphia-based podcast,
I couldn't put them.
they would be number one.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
I mean,
We are Philadelphia media. And you know what
we are.
Philadelphia media is?
Yes, everything's about the birds. I know everything.
We are their number one hater.
It is their
We are here to hate, to fuel the fires from within.
life, death, taxes. Philadelphia Eagles. But
okay,
so
number two.
the Eagles were close.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
You definitely have the Jets on there.
Oh yeah, they're number one.
And then the other one, is it AFC or NFC?
AFC.
It's AFC?
It was going to be the Niners, but I
Well,
changed my mind. I don't think they're under much pressure.
Okay, so it's an AFC team.
Besides Shanahan,
Broncos.
Denver Broncos
What?
number 2.
I seriously didn't know that.
Tell me that's not a good one though.
That is a good one because I wanted to talk about this because Russell Wilson, yeah, I mean, the stuff that's coming out about this team, they are in the worst possible. Who would want to go there?
What are they going to do?
Who would want to go there?
What are they going to do?
Who's going to pay the guy?
Sean Payton comes in, cleans up whatever Hackett left there, and is going to change everything there. And the first thing on his mind was, let's bench this guy because I hate him, number 1. And number 2, we're going to ship him off.
Did you see why they benched him? Because he didn't want to get rid of his injury clause.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't blame the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to get rid of that? But I mean, I do see what they're saying because that guy is one hit away from having CTE, I think, because he came out and said that his expectation is 2 Super Bowls in the next 5 years or something. Like, buddy, have you watched your film?
Dude, I will say, though, I think we're kind of overlooking his year this year. I mean, yes, he doesn't look good in a Broncos uniform.
He was a beast.
He had his moments, and he actually was like top 3 in a couple of categories. I didn't write it down, but dude, his contract
He had a Josh Allen year on a Patrick Mahomes contract.
Bro, they're $241 million over the salary cap.
Oh no.
They're $241 million over the salary cap. And if they get rid of Russ, they'd be eating about $85 million in dead cap money. So he has 5 years remaining on his
Whoever
contract.
gave him this deal needs to be fired and kicked out of the league.
Assassinated?
Yeah.
Dude, but that's regardless. Why are they under pressure? Is because they need to figure out this situation. Sean Payton, they had all this expectation for him. I'm pretty sure they traded a first round pick for him, by the way. They're not like, you got to figure it out before this turns into a dumpster fire because it's going really bad right now. And how much value do you get from Russ? What team is going to be looking into trading for a contract like that? The Steelers are the only ones that come to mind. Same with Fields. Steelers, Falcons, and, well, it's not the Broncos. Steelers and Falcons. Nobody else. They're in some deep shit.
I don't understand how you allow a situation to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, how do you let it get this bad?
You have...
It was just the Russ contract. I mean,
that's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
They signed their death warrant.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
In a league where everything's like... They're very strategic in how they give players money, and you see it with the running back market. Like, how did someone okay this contract to get printed? Because everything gets printed out. It's not electronic.
That was a Mike McCagnon
How
contract.
did they allow this to
Even
get
worse.
printed? What a waste of paper, first of all. Then you think about how much ink they probably wasted on this thing. This contract has cost them billions of dollars in the long run.
Seahawks finessed.
Talk about finessing. They saw the light in Geno.
Oh, yeah.
They knew.
But I don't know where they go from here because that's a lot of money. Oh, man. Yeah, that's why they're number 2 in my eyes. I can't even explain it. I mean, what do you do? What do you do with this guy? What are you going to do?
Listen, there's someone out there that's, and I don't know if this is possible, but there's someone out there that will take him. And I think the deal that is going to occur will be the Broncos will have to pay off his salary, similar to how soccer teams will loan a guy out and still pay their salary.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a situation where for a number of years, the Broncos are going to be paying
85% of the salary they're going to have to pay off. That's what I'm thinking.
It's going to be a high
It's not going to
percentage.
be lower than 70.
It's not. If they it's going to be a number of years where they are paying the full salary. They're going to be paying two starting quarterbacks in the league for a number of years. Yeah. What a bunch of idiots, a bunch of morons in Denver.
I feel for
they
the
were
guy.
smoking way too much that day.
It's kind of wild because I look at Russ and I'm not even, this might be a terrible comparison, but like the trajectory of his career right now is like so similar to Russell Westbrook. Does anyone see that correlation or is it just me? I feel like Russell Westbrook they're very similar in the way their career has been going.
So the only way I see it being a full Russell Westbrook situation is if Russ goes somewhere and balls out.
Yes.
Because
but
Russell
that's
Westbrook,
the thing, though. I
people
could see that happening.
I could too.
I really can. I think if he goes to the Steelers, I think he balls.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I need to put respect on Westbrook's name so that people understand that we know that he's balling because he's having a great year on the Clippers right now. And there's a reason why every team he goes to wins and makes the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He might not be able to shoot anymore, but the man wins.
This is like when Russ I'm going to call Russ Westbrook. This is when Russ went to the Wizards. And I think this is very similar for when Russell Wilson is on the Broncos. Just a just facade of a year. And you're like, oh, my God. Like, you thought he was going to change the whole trajectory of this team. No, it's not happening. Oh, he's done. I think Russell, this is his Wizards right now. Mm-hmm. And I think whatever team he goes to next, you buy that stock. Whether it be the damn Steelers,
if he goes
Falcons,
to the Steelers, I think they're a playoff team.
Atlanta or Pittsburgh, he changes that team.
Yes.
Even though the last 2 years it's been booty hole.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's been like that.
Dude, that's a tough one.
It's going to happen, though.
No, not
We're
that.
speaking
I'm saying
into
the word booty hole. Like, that is a tough one to wrap your head around, dude. That is brutal. Can you imagine like going out in public and saying that? Like, you're a booty hole.
Booty hole.
That's just dirty, bro.
Yeah, it's not nice.
That's dirty.
It's not nice. Guys, you got anything on Russ?
Shall we move on to number one?
All right, yeah. Give me number one.
I mean,
Give me number one.
come on. Are you serious? Yeah. Who else? Playoffs.
Playoffs?
It's the Jets. They are under the most pressure. It's not even close. It's not. It's not close. You can't disagree with me. It's not close.
I'm not arguing. Like
I thought someone had something to say. I was
I'm
waiting
with
for
you.
something.
I'm with you. I have
have-
nothing to say. The Jets. Here's where I stand on the Jets. Okay. The Jets are under the most pressure because Aaron Rodgers has not proven he can play in New York yet. And he's coming back to a team that proved that the coaching staff didn't know what they were doing last year. They couldn't adjust to a situation. They couldn't fix a situation. Yeah, it looked good sometimes when it was downpouring and the other team couldn't figure out how to run the ball or throw the ball, play football. And Zach Wilson just, I don't know, he Mormoned his way to victory. Like, this team is under the most pressure because no one actually knows what they're capable of.
Except
If
I think
people-
Jets fans.
No,
one.
no. Jets fans are deluded in what they think could happen. We have to all keep our feet on the ground,
Okay,
toes in
fair.
the sand, lock ourselves to the ground. Let's not get too high, because if Aaron Rodgers comes out next year and they don't make the changes necessary and Hackett just continues to run an offense that just doesn't work, this team is screwed. You're screwed. You're screwed. Hackett is the, now that I'm talking myself through it, Hackett is basically the domino that if he falls and it doesn't work, this whole team's just going to tip and tip and tip and tip. And next thing you know, it's Miami and Buffalo playing for the division.
32nd in touchdown passes and passer rating.
But that I don't know if you can really look at the stats from this year in terms of quarterback play.
But you can look at the offensive stats as a whole, and they were abysmal.
Yeah,
They
it
were
was that
there
bad.
was
Yeah.
Team number 31, and then the Jets were like a mile down here.
So let's look at their run game. What was their run game like?
Good.
It was good. Yeah.
Okay,
I
so-
mean, Brees was a top 3 back.
And that's
Top
where
five back.
that's where you could look at it, I think, and say, all right, this team actually might have something. Because if the run game was good without Rodgers, just imagine having Rodgers in there. And now it might, like, now your passing game's up here. And if you get both of them up here, now teams fear everything.
But
it's kind of like a Chiefs situation.
For
Go
sure.
ahead.
But they just released Laken Tomlinson. That was a cap hit. They're probably going to release CJ Uzama, another cap hit around $8 million, 16 right there. They just have to protect him. I mean,
So, yeah. After the Lake and Tomlinson release, the Jets now have 2 starting O linemen. It's Joe Tippmann and Elijah Vera Tucker. Vera Tucker has had a season-ending injury every year of his career so
Yeah.
far.
Perfect.
And those guys are both young, so like they have a lot of work to do on the O line. The first thing Joe Douglas said he was going to do when he came to the Jets, 5 years ago, was rebuild the O line. It has not happened. The O line has fallen apart yet again, and now he needs to rebuild it in one offseason.
and why I
Build
think
that wall.
yeah, and why I think they're under so much pressure is because if this season does not go how they want it to go, all of them are gone.
Yeah.
Probably Joe Douglas,
Yeah.
definitely Robert Saleh,
He's-
Hackett. Jeff Ulbrich would probably be the only one keeping his job because we don't have to worry about that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas last year screwed up yet again, he's pretty good in the draft. He had that one draft class. Okay, phenomenal.
One.
Last year, you don't do that. I know we talk about it so much. You just, oh my God. You got JSN, but you have to re-sign Huff. You have to. You got to re-sign them.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, if they keep making these cuts, maybe, but
So
he's going to want a lot of money.
the
That's his
Jets
issue.
need to majorly address the O line, but they also have to get a receiver either in the draft or free agency. I'm not saying they need a Mike Evans or a T. Higgins.
I think
but
both, and they need
gotta
depth.
they got to bring someone in at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing with the Jets. I think they're getting written off right now because of the season they had, and I guess they do deserve a little hate. Like, they had the Super Bowl expectation when they hadn't.
That was crazy, dude.
And the season's over 4 plays into the season. It would only ever happen to the Jets. It's like something out of a movie.
That was
But
crazy.
my thing, Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And the roster is good. There's some holes, but we have Aaron Rodgers. We have a good roster. We should absolutely be in the playoffs.
But that's
if Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets are a playoff team.
But that's the thing that I don't think other fans besides Jets fans realize is that this team actually has talent. We're a top 2 team, like a top 2 defense. It's not even a question. We have a superb defense. It's just the offensive side of the ball. We have Garrett Wilson. He's a wide receiver 1, solid. We have Breece Hall, running back 1, solid. These are elite players. It's just that wall. That's it. It's just the wall, dude.
Build the wall.
He's tried to build the line. He's failed. He's tried to address it. He's failed. Mekhi was a failure, unfortunately. Like, we have to just attack it all. We know we're taking, again, number 10, we're taking Fashanu or Joe Alt. It's going to be one of those 2 guys, and I'm happy with either or. Mm-hmm. But this is their last shot. You went in on Rodgers because you wanted to go all in, cards on the table, and you're go big or go home. Mm-hmm. This is the last year it's going to happen. Unless next year he stays again, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think what's important as well, guys, you have to find a backup. You have to find a solidified backup. Either you get a quarterback.
JJ.
I mean, just draft someone or you bring someone in. You're bringing somebody in. Sam Howell, Tanny, you got to get someone who's proven that he can play in this league. He might not be the best, maybe like 15 and then through 25 as a ranking for a quarterback. Get someone who's proven. Get someone who can play. And not some rookie who's a diamond in the rough playing. You don't need that. Just get someone
Sam
who's
Darnold,
a veteran. Bring back Sam. I would take it in a second.
He has Super Bowl experience.
Yeah, he's the only one.
You would have 2 quarterbacks that have Super Bowl experience.
I would take Sam in a heartbeat. No doubt about it.
Have him come back.
I would still do that.
Have him come back home. You know there's no chance he gets mono.
Yeah. Well, who knows about that? But
yeah.
I would take Tanny, Jimmy G. Just bring in these old guys at this point.
Have Jimmy G.
Yeah, you can't, but you can find a way around it. Call Phillip Rivers. Bring Alex Smith, RG3, bring him back. And that's...
I don't know about Alex Smith either.
Yeah, I'm capping.
I'm not sure that he can move.
But receiver in the later rounds in the draft.
Yep.
O-line receiver, I don't want to see any other position taken. Not one. Maybe a safety. That's it.
I'm with you.
Safety in like the 6th or 7th round. And that's my list.
That's good.
See, it worked out, you see, because it was a whole conversation throughout the show. Now, what do you guys think? You think it's a solid list, top 5?
Yeah.
What would you have changed? So right now, Jets 1, Broncos 2, Eagles 3, Bears 4, Cowboys 5.
I think the Jets are 2, Eagles are 1. I would say just those teams on the list. I think Bears, you'd move to 5. Cowboys would bump up 1.
Okay, so it's the same amount. It's the same teams. Broncos at 2.
Yeah, I would keep the Broncos at 2 just because there's a lot of off the field pressure. Like, I just think there's a lot more off the field pressure that will turn to on the field pressure should the
just for the picture, the thumbnail.
Oh, good. But yeah, no, I think Eagles are number 1 because if Jalen Hurts comes out and is terrible, big questions will be asked. If both sides of the ball are bad, lots of questions will be asked. Like, I could see a move before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk quarterbacks, that's a different story. The list would be way different. I mean, in regards to the teams.
Yeah, no, but this just in terms of teams.
Just in terms of teams heading into the draft.
I like your list.
Yeah.
I think one honorable mention that could be on there is New England.
Right, you see, I didn't think that, dude. I didn't think there was much on them.
That high pick this year, they need a QB, and they could make or break their franchise with that.
That's
pick.
true.
I just don't think there's any expectations with them. That's why I didn't put them there.
But like that pick is very important. They need to hit on a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, so they have number 3, right?
Yeah.
They might not even take a quarterback, bro. They might take Marvin.
No,
They might take Marvin. Why wouldn't you?
I think they.
You're not going to win right now.
Drake May or Jaden Daniels there.
If you can get a guy that could be a top receiver for you for a long time, because the thing is, if they do take a quarterback, they have to really love him. They really have to love Drake May or Jaden Daniels if Drake May gets selected number 2. They have to love them. I don't think they're in a position where if any quarterback falls, they just take him right away. I think they actually look for like BPA at that point.
They're at 3 though, so like they know either Daniels or May is going to be there. Or
You see,
This is gonna be crazy. This is the first year that it's like not Bill picking, so like you don't really know what Patriots will do. Like this is uncharted.
it's
territory for
Gerard
you
Mayo.
guys.
So Gerard Mayo
Yeah.
has been a linebackers coach for them for ever since like Bill has been there. He was a player for the Patriots.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like.
This
There
is
is pressure, but there isn't, in my opinion. With
it's like
the Patriots.
uncharted waters for you guys. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. They could come out and be back, or they could come out and be like you guys.
It's so funny.
It could be you guys.
Nah, I don't think. I think they're going to be a long ways coming. They're going to go through a whole rebuild, and I absolutely am here
So
for
they're
it.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bad with Bill. They ain't gonna be top notch with somebody else.
After that rookie year with Mac Jones, we were like, oh shit, like here we go again. But like then this year happened, and then Bill left. Like that's a really hard replacement right there. So it's going to take them some time to finally get back up to being a playoff team. So it's really nice to see. But when they are on the board, I will be watching. I'll be like, oh man, like what are they going to do? Huh?
Please mess this up.
Please not.
Yeah, please find a way to fuck this up. Every single time, bro, they draft someone and we're like, oh, when they took Christian Gonzalez, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, here we go. Like, we're screwed. He was good until he got injured.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. But yeah, that's the list. Gassy, do you agree with this? What would you do?
I think
So you said
I
Patriots.
think I agree with it. I said that the Eagles would be my number one because that whole franchise could potentially blow up if they don't get the offensive coaching right. I think Sirianni probably should have been fired already.
Yeah, I just think that the fan base has such like
I do think Jalen is good though, but like they could ruin the team around him.
yes. I like Jalen too, but I am a little bit worried about him. I hope that he shuts me up. I'm not saying he's bad at all. He's a good quarterback, but if you exclude a lot of those push touchdowns, I want to see him. I want to see him air it out and be a beast. Obviously, they're not gonna because of the offense that they run, but I'm not too worried about him. But I am just a little bit concerned. But yeah, that's all I got. But that being said, I guess that's the show. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No.
I didn't think it'd go that long, to be honest.
That was good.
A lot of good content there.
Well,
Puzzle
ya.
time.
Yeah. Peace.
All right, guys.